Masculinity is toxic. And if you want to become more of a man, then I'm not even going to say it. I was going to say something horrible. I'm just joking, everyone. Masculinity is absolutely not toxic. Masculinity is what saves men's lives at the end of the day. Masculinity is what causes men to become more like men. Um, all the way back in the book of Genesis, you look at God created man and God created women for two different purposes, for two different things, right? Um, God didn't create men and women so they could be the same. I don't know why, but in today's society, people think that men and women should be the same, should be equal. Um, you know, um, it's just dumb when you think about it. People don't understand what it is. People don't understand the difference between equality and fairness. Right? There's a difference between the two. Now, I think people that think masculine men are toxic, and people who think that men who are trying to be men are absolute idiots. But I don't blame society because nowadays, when you look around, men are not really required anymore. Men are not required to be strong. Men are not required to be masculine. Women are actually often taking up that role. In modern TV shows as well, which doesn't help. You have, the dad is often quite lazy, and then the mum's like the one that saves the day. You look at The Simpsons, Family Guy, those sort of shows. I don't really watch TV shows, to be honest with you, but naturally, when you watch those shows, that's going to get ingrained into your brain, and you're going to think, oh, okay, I can be lazy as a man. The woman's just going to come and save me, which is just sad, to be honest. Like, that's not how we were supposed to live as men. That's never how we were supposed to live. Masculine men are the reason why society evolved. Masculine men are the reason why society do evolve. The way that society is nowadays is just fucked it for both, to be honest, both men and women. Like, it's easy to look at this and go, oh, yeah, women are the problem, men are the problem. We're both the problem. Men need to become more masculine, right, and not listen to society and rip the script. But then women, on the other hand, need to basically allow men to do this. So it goes both ways. But in today's society, as a man, you're going to get criticized regardless of what you do. So here are some steps in this video to make you more masculine, and you can basically just become more masculine without worrying about what society's going to think. And society's naturally going to respect you for it, right? A lot of people are going to hate you on this journey. That is a disclaimer. But it's worth the hate. Trust me, it's worth it. Because then at the end of the day, you're going to look back at all the people you left behind, and you're going to go, you know what? It was worth actually beating them in the end. The real reason you're not masculine is also because of the school system and the sort of stuff that gets taught nowadays in school. It forces a script down your throat, that you're going to go to school, be a good boy, sit there, get your good grades, then you're going to go to uni, then you're going to get a job, then you're going to work till you're about 60, and then ultimately want to kill yourself when you're a bit older, because you have no money and you have no life and you have nothing. Like, no one in society really cares about you. Life as a man is really, really lonely, but here are some steps that you can do to become more masculine. Probably the number one thing is finding a purpose, right? Now, what is a purpose? A purpose is a North Star, a guide, something that your life is aligned towards. This is probably the biggest thing that allows you to be a masculine man, because deep in your heart, it allows you to actually set your goals and align your day-to-day life to this purpose and to actually fulfilling this purpose. You got to think big. You got to think long-term with this sort of stuff. 5 years, 10 years. And that's going to allow you to have your sort of more specific goals so that you can then actually achieve them in the long term, right? There's nothing more masculine than setting a purpose and achieving a goal. That is probably the biggest thing. Now, the way you're going to achieve this goal is by building discipline, right? Discipline is the act of wanting or doing something even when you don't feel like it, right? Motivation is good, and it's something that, when you feel motivated to do work, you'll do work, right? But as a man, right, you're not always going to feel motivated, which is why you need to build discipline, right? The act of discipline is not built in 2 days, in 1 day. It's built over years and years of actually progressing it, and actually like doing things when you don't feel like it. Um, this is the sort of stuff they use in the military, because the military trains people to build discipline. It trains people, to just follow habits. That way it's automatic, and that way you don't have to think about it, right? Because when you're doing things in a war, you don't want to be thinking about things. You want things to be automatic, and you want to just be able to do things. You're going to level up your progressive overload, discipline with progressive overload. And honestly, discipline cures depression, right? Like, discipline is something that cures depression. Discipline and having a purpose in life, it cures depression and boredom. The biggest key to depression is it comes from boredom, right? And not wanting to master skills. That's why people become depressed. The minute they focus their efforts towards a goal, towards something, right, that cures depression. Um, the third point I have is finding masculine men and hanging out with them. Right, this is kind of hard to do because there's probably a lot of masculine men who don't want to hang out with you because you're a bit of a loser right now. But once you sort of have a tribe of men that you can actually grow and succeed together with, that is one of the most beautiful things you can have as a man, and it allows you to become more masculine. Hanging around with women, unfortunately, unless you're not going to date them, right? Please don't be friends with women. That will not help you become a man. It will actually make you worse, because you're the average of the 5 people you hang out with. It will make you way worse. I've made this mistake in the past, thinking that the women are going to actually want you. The truth is, you're just going to get friend zoned by the women, and they're not even going to want you, and they're going to think you're an absolute bitch as well. And then men are not going to respect you either, because you're going to be hanging out with women all day. So it's a lose-lose situation. So if you're a guy and you think that hanging out with women is going to help you, believe me, it won't. Please don't. Hang out with men that actually have a purpose, that are driven. Don't hang out with men that are complete degenerates either, because that's not going to help you either, and that's going to slow down your progress. But being with men that are actually masculine and want to grow is really important. The fourth point I have is be aware of your emotions, but don't be your emotions. It's important to process emotions, but it's important to not let your emotions influence the way you act and the way you behave out there, right? So emotions are something that are going to be built up inside. Society nowadays has conditioned us, right? Either do one of two things: either be our emotions and be very emotional, which is not what we want, or society's also conditioned us to, or society's, when men think, yeah, don't be emotional, they think they just bottle up the emotions inside, which is actually worse than being emotional, because you're more likely to lash out and kill someone, or do something horrible or commit a bad crime, right? Because of that. Which is why it's important to address your emotions, write them down, feel them inside of you, maybe cry even a little bit, get a bit emotional, but do this in private. Please never do this in public as a man. Do this in private, and then once you've sort of processed that emotion, you're going to be a bit more healthier, and you're actually going to be able to go and progress and do more things in life. Introspective work and journalism and journaling, is the most important thing when it comes to addressing your emotions. Like I said, be your emotions, be aware of your emotions, but don't be your emotions. Is the biggest thing. The last point I have is about the being a masculine man in relationships. You want that father-daughter dynamic versus the mother-son dynamic. I think this one kind of goes without saying, but nowadays when you look at relationships, it's fucked. The women aren't really feminine, the men aren't really masculine, and no one's really happy, right? The true relationships where people are happy that I've seen is where the man's masculine, the man is the one that leads, the man is the one that provides, and the woman is the one that cares, that's emotional, that's there to provide the emotional support and things like that. That's ultimately a couple that's going to last a long time, and that's a couple that's not going to get divorced. Being an ultimate man is about being one that women like, but that men respect at the same time. And that's a pretty hard place to get to in society, but it's something that if you follow these steps, you'll actually be able to achieve. Thanks for watching the video. Please check out my workout routines down in the description, as well as my coaching course. I've got that down in the description as well if you want to go check it out. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.